Welcome to the fifth episode of the Next Level Dragon podcast. In today's episode of the podcast, I will be interviewing my coworker Ronda. Hello, Ronda. How are you today?
Hello, everyone. It's me, Ronda. I'm doing good, Dave. Thanks for having me on.
Of course. You and I have been through some wild shifts together. For those listening, Ronda and I are both supervisors at a retail store. That means long hours, unpredictable schedules, and a whole lot of caffeine.
Yeah. Some days it feels like we live at the store. I've done plenty of 12-hour shifts, and I know you've had even longer ones.
Oh yeah, I've had to commute an hour and a half out of town just to cover a 14-hour shift. That's a 3-hour round trip on top of the workday. By the time I get home, it's basically time to shower and do it all over again.
And that's not even counting the mental load. Managing staff, dealing with customers, keeping inventory straight. It's nonstop.
Exactly. And that brings us to today's topic. I came across this article from Extra IE titled, "It's Doggone Sad, Leaving Dogs Alone." It talks about a law in Sweden that makes it illegal to leave your dog alone for more than 6 hours at a time.
Wait, illegal? Not just frowned upon.
Illegal, not discouraged, absolutely forbidden by law. If you leave your dog alone for more than 6 hours, you're breaking the law.
That's wild. I mean, I get the intention. Dogs are social animals. But 6 hours? That's before I even go on my lunch break. I usually don't take my 30-minute lunch until the 10th or 11th hour of my shift.
Right. So I had to ask myself, how would that work if you have a 14-hour shift and a 3-hour round-trip commute? Most people I know use doggy pads on the floor. Some have automatic feeders or cameras. But even with all that, you're still gone for way longer than 6 hours.
And not everyone can afford doggy daycare or a pet sitter, especially retail workers. We're not exactly rolling in disposable income.
Exactly. It's one of those laws that sounds good in theory, but in practice, it's tough. Especially for folks like us who work long shifts and don't have predictable schedules.
I wonder how people in Sweden manage it. Do they all have flexible jobs or live close to home?
The article didn't go into that, but it did mention that the law is part of a broader push for animal welfare, which I respect. But it also made me think, how do we balance that with the reality of working-class life?
That's a good question. Maybe the real issue is that we're working too much. If we had shorter shifts or better support, maybe we could be better pet parents too.
Totally. I think this episode is less about judging the law and more about asking, what does it mean to care for animals when your job barely lets you take care of yourself?
That's deep, Dave. I like it.
Thanks, Rhonda. And thanks to everyone listening. If you've got a dog and you're working retail, we see you. You're doing your best. And maybe it's time we start talking about how work affects not just us, but our pets too.
I couldn't agree more.
That wraps up today's episode of the Next Level Dragon podcast. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Until next time, peace out.